It's Cougar Sports Saturday.
That's caught! Touchdown! Stayed inside the boundary and gets in for 6.
Cougar Sports Saturday, a presentation of KSL Sports.
Richie right to the rim, driving score! He would not be denied!
BYU Sports Talk by Cougar fans for Cougar fans. Sponsored by Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air. Your hosts are Mitch Harper and Kyle Ireland. On Utah's legacy home of the Cougars, KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Welcome back into Cougar Sports Saturday on this September 27th edition of the show. Mitch Harper and Kyle Ireland with you. We're watching the TV right now. BYU's next opponent, West Virginia, in action against BYU's rival, who we were just talking off the air, Kyle. Utah and BYU is 3 weeks away. Is that kind of just
doesn't seem real.
Sound strange? Utah's up on West Virginia right now, 7-0, but
football season just started. My gosh.
I kind of just take a step back and go, oh my gosh, BYU's playing Utah in 3 weeks.
Yeah. Kalani mentioned it earlier in the week. He was like, oh, we're a third of the way through this regular season schedule. It's like, oh my gosh.
After tonight, it's a third of the way through. And then next Friday, they'll have BYU and West Virginia on a Friday night, 8:30 p.m. kick. Tonight's game against Colorado is 8:15, technically 8:20. There'll be the TV kickoff time. So going to be late nights for BYU football, but that's nothing new to Cougar Nation. Cougar fans know what a late-night football game is like. Colorado fans seem like they're almost floored by it, some of the Colorado media. Oh, these late nights. Folks, you're in the Pac-12, and now the Big 12. That's just what this is. We're in the Mountain Time Zone. We're in the Pacific Time Zone. That's just what you do. You've got to play late-night football, so that's what it is. A guy that's familiar with this part of the country out here in the Mile High is Andrew Gentry, BYU's starting right tackle from Littleton, Colorado. And I caught up with Gentry as he gets ready to face the hometown Buffs, and I asked him, how close is Littleton to Boulder?
Yeah, I'm about an hour away, so nice and close to home. I'm excited to go back home and play out there. It'll be fun.
Are you going to have a big gathering of family that's going to be there to support you in Folsom Field?
Oh, yeah. There's going to be a lot of people that, one, are already out there in Colorado. Got a lot of, obviously, my immediate family, and then aunts and uncles and cousins that'll be out there as well, and then also some family that's traveling over from Utah as well to be over there. So going to have the whole crew over there, and that makes it even more fun.
Coach Prime wasn't at Colorado when you were going through the recruiting process, but did you consider the Buffs much when you were coming up as a recruit, a hometown kid?
Yeah, I mean, definitely a little bit. At that time, that was kind of the Mel Tucker era when they were doing some good things over there at Colorado. So definitely took a few visits up there, went on a few unofficials, went to a few game days. So I've been there in the game day atmosphere in Colorado, and it's a fun place to play a game. So I'm excited for that. But, so I spent a lot of time up there, just because it was so close and because of the proximity. I've seen quite a bit of Colorado. I've been around that program for a while, so excited to go back there.
This game have a little bit more personal to you. I saw just moments ago you're getting a little bit extra work after practice. Is it a byproduct of that, or what would you explain maybe just the little bit extra work today?
Yeah, I mean, I think the extra work really just to improve, right? Every day just to have constant improvement is how I look at it and how we look at it as a program as well. So just some things I want to clean up personally in my game. But at the same time, too, there's definitely added excitement going into Big 12 play. But at the same time, every week is preparing like it's the most important game because that's what it is, right? So right now, the only focus we have is Colorado. So just try to be the best right tackle I can be going into this week for our team. How would you assess how you played in non-conference play through the first 3 games as you know, getting ready now for Big 12 play? Yeah, I think there's some good things and things to clean up, right? Happy overall with how I played, but never satisfied, right? Always trying to work and to get better. Those are some good teams that we played, but we're going to play a lot better. No offense to teams we've already played, but we're going to play some really, really good teams coming up. And so I think building on the good things, but then making sure that we improve on the things that need to be improved on as well. As a transfer this year, you joined in the winter time, so you've had almost a calendar year to be part of this. But how have you just meshed with this entire offensive line? I know you guys play about 6 or 7 guys in a given game, but just how do you think that you guys, how you've kind of meshed with all these new faces along the line? I feel really good about it. Honestly, these guys have been awesome, and that's one thing. Coming into transfer, you never know how you're going to mesh with guys, and these guys welcomed me in so well and treated me really well, and have continued to treat me well. So I'm just really grateful for the teammates I have because we have the best teammates in the world, and I love them and feel like we really meshed. From January, like you mentioned, when I got here, and in the wintertime working out, and then in spring ball, even though I wasn't participating in spring ball, just still feel like I meshed with them really well, and that's just continued in the season. And feel that we've played well as an offensive line, but still have a lot left in the tank that we can continue to give.
last week, what was the feedback that Coach Woods gave you and the rest of the offensive line about the penalties on the O-line? Is that just kind of just mental mistakes? What would you chalk that up to last week?
Yeah, I think, there's partly the mental aspect of it, like you mentioned, but then also I think part of it, too, is just kind of the cost of doing business sometimes, right? That's kind of what happens when you're playing football, is you'll get a holding call here and there sometimes, and there's things that we can clean up, right, getting hands inside, and so we focused on that this week of getting our hands inside on those holding penalties, and I had the hands to the face, right, so getting hands a little bit lower. But at the end of the day, right, you're going to get some of those holding penalties, and Coach Woods is good on, if we're playing physical and playing hard, he'd rather have that than, just the mental fortitude or the mental aspect of just getting a lot of. We didn't have many procedural penalties. We had a couple, but at the end of the day, right, I feel like we're locked in mentally, and now it's just getting a couple things technically cleaned up.
Do you get a sense this game means a little bit more to your left tackle teammate, Jada, who's former Buff himself?
Yeah, I think so. But at the same time, I think Jada has a really good mentality, too, of every week is important to him as well, right? That every week's the most important game. But like you mentioned, I think there definitely is that added aspect of, hey, this is his former team, and so he's excited to get in there and to, play his best. But he always plays his best, and he's been playing phenomenal this year, and so I'm just excited to see what he does in Colorado this week.
What stands out about Colorado's defensive front and the way they kind of go about their business on the defensive side?
Yeah, really good players. Number 53, Arden Walker, I played against him in high school twice, and so I know that he's a great player and did great things in high school when I played against him, so it'll be fun to play against him again. But then the rest of their D-line, too, is going to be the best D-line we faced, absolutely. They've got good edge rushers that I've been paying attention to, that do good things, that are dynamic, that are going to throw some good moves out there, that have had some good production this year. So looking forward to a better challenge this week. Not to say that the guys we've gone against are bad, but these are definitely the best guys we've seen yet this year, so super excited for that. And then they just have stout guys on the interior, and they're coached well. Coach Prime obviously has a lot of experience, and Warren Sapp, this is one of the best to ever do it. So they're getting coached up well, and it'll be a fun battle going in there.
Last few moments here with Andrew Gentry, and how are you enjoying just the BYU experience so far? Has it been everything that you hoped for, and the on-field product's looking good with you guys being now nationally ranked, but just has it been everything you hoped for when you transferred here?
Absolutely. I came here because I love Coach Sataki, I love Coach Woods, and the product that they're putting out there, and it's been nothing short of the expectations I had. It's exceeded expectations. I love the way that they've welcomed me in, but I just love the program, love the culture that's being built here, and that's just, in part with Coach Sataki, what he's done, and then just the players that we have around here. I'm just so grateful for my teammates and my coaches and the way that they've built this program, and grateful that I could be a part of it.
Last thing, the culture seems like it's staying humble no matter what, and yeah, you guys are getting a little bit of accolades now. Everyone's been sleeping on you guys for the first few months. Is that getting to your guys' heads at all, or is it still just business as usual?
It's just business as usual, right? I think at the end of the day, it's cool that we're nationally ranked, but at the same time, I don't think we're satisfied with being number 25 either, right? Our goal is to always be the best and to work to be the best. So just because we're nationally ranked doesn't mean that we hit our goals, because we were shooting for a lot higher. And so every week is remaining humble and hungry, and we're grateful to be ranked, but at the same time, we're just grateful that every week to keep going, to keep moving forward, and to keep working to be the best that we can possibly be.
That's BYU starting right tackle Andrew Gentry, and a Colorado native from Littleton, Colorado, graduate of Columbine High School, signed with Virginia out of high school. Then he transferred to Michigan, and now he's a member of the BYU football program, and a welcomed addition because he has been excellent.
Yeah, he's been outstanding, and I think that BYU is going to have to lean on him more and more throughout this season. Him and Isaiah Jada on the other side. Another Colorado tie to this game is Jada on the opposite end there from Gentry. But the two of them, just to be able to protect Bear Bachmeyer. Bear hasn't had a lot of tackles for loss, sacks in the backfield, this season, and that's due to the outstanding play of those tackles.
I'm curious to see how BYU fares against Colorado's defensive line. I feel like BYU should have the advantage, but again, I do believe this is a improved defensive line. The scheme and the defense as a whole for Colorado statistically hasn't been better, but I think their personnel is pretty good. Keaton Wade is one to watch. He's an edge rusher, 6'4", 245 pounds. There were some questions about his availability this week. Now he's expected to go. Amari McNeil, 6'4", 300-pound defensive tackle. And defensive end Arden Walker, you heard Andrew Gentry talk about him, 6'2", 250 junior. They've got some capable guys, but BYU's offensive line has to set the tone. And I like, too, what Gentry said about the penalties. Some of those are just the cost of doing business, man. When you're getting nasty in the trenches, you're going to get a little extracurricular sometimes, and it just happens. And I think those are the type of penalties where Kalani will say, you know what, I'm okay with that. This is a physical football team. It's the false starts. It's the egregious holdings. Don't do that. But sometimes an accidental hand to the face, It's going to happen. Cost of doing business, that's the case for BYU. But I do believe the physicality has shown up consistently. And what's interesting, too, about BYU's O-line is that it's 7 guys are playing. You're seeing Waylon Lapuahu, who returned last week, but you're still seeing Sonny Makassini. You're still seeing Kyle Safaricho, Austin Leausa. They go about 7 or 8 deep, and they're comfortable playing those guys.
It's interesting because you started off the season, a little banged up there on the offensive line, but in the grand scheme of things, you're probably grateful the way that it played out because those guys got more experience to be able to have, an experienced rotation, so that way you're not burning out your starters, as we head into Big 12 play here against Colorado tonight. I think this BYU, as far as the trenches are concerned, Mitch, this is one of the best offense and defensive line combos that BYU's had in recent years because it's always seemed like, they have a good offensive line, but, they need some help on the defensive side of things. I feel like talent-wise, they've been really balanced so far this season through 3 games where I've been impressed on both sides of the trenches for BYU.
Coming up next, let's hear from BYU offensive coordinator Aaron Roderick. We tossed some questions the way of BYU's offensive play caller. You'll hear his answers to those questions coming up next. We're live from Boulder, Colorado. Kyle Ireland, Mitch Harper, Cougar Sports Saturday on KSL News Radio.